Yes. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to the Srimad Bhagavatam Katha. Srimad Bhagavatam, we are discussing. Achyutanji, thank you so much for joining on YouTube. So, Srimad Bhagavatam, this is the fifth session that we are having. And in this session, we will understand some more very interesting things about the Srimad Bhagavatam. Before we enter the Srimad Bhagavatam, let us all chant the pranam mantras. It will be displayed on the screen. So I request all of you to please join your palms and join along with me in chanting the pranam mantras. Let's dedicate this session to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of ISKCON and my beloved spiritual master. So kindly join your palms and let's chant the pranam mantras. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyat Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Hare Krishna. So, welcome everyone, all of you, those who have joined on YouTube. So, kindly say Hare Krishna so that I know that you have joined. So, I'm very glad to see all of you again back into the study of the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of all the Vedas. We have understood it very clearly in the previous session that how the first three verses describe about the Sambandha Jnana, the Abhidaya Jnana, and the Prayojana. Right? The three very important aspects in devotional life about how do we establish a relationship with Krishna. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is considered to be the ripened fruit. So now, in this session, we are going to understand the mood of the sages, the mindset of the sages, which is very, 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 very important. So, why it is important? Because this mindset is what we need to develop. We are also talking about Bhagavatam in terms of application. So we need to understand Bhagavatam and apply it in our life. So this mindset of the sages is very important to understand, because only when we have this right mindset, that is when we will be able to understand Srimad Bhagavatam much better, right? So this is our idea, that we need to have this correct mindset to understand Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, how does this story begin? Now, this story begins with all the sages assembling in Naimisharanya. And they have assembled in Naimisharanya. This is in Kali Yuga, when Krishna has left, the Pandavas have left. So in Naimisharanya, these great sages have assembled to perform a yajna for 1000 years. And this yajna is for pleasing the Supreme Lord, pleasing his devotees, and also for the welfare of all the people. Vasudeva Kutumbakam, we say, right? So this sages of the Naimisharanya, they have all come together for the welfare, for the world peace. They were performing this yagna for 1000 years, not an ordinary thing. Huh? Just imagine, just to have that amount of patience also is not so easy. But they all have come together for this great activity. So now, what is Naimisharanya? Naimisharanya is a very sacred place. It is a very holy place. It is also a Dharmakshetra. Why it is Dharmakshetra? See, this is Dharmakshetra because Brahma, when the Devatas asked, okay, what is the best place for us to perform penance and tapasya? So Brahma, he took a wheel of a chariot and he just rolled it down. And that wheel rolled down from so many planet to planet. And finally, this wheel of dharma left by Brahma came and then it fell at this place because Brahma had told wherever this wheel stops, that should be considered as a place of dharma, and that is a place that we can all perform nice penances. So, this Dharma Kshetra or Naimisharanya was considered as very, very holy place, and all the sages, how many sages? 88,000 sages. All of them have come and assembled there. Very powerful place. Now, we all know that once Indra also was thrown away from his kingdom because of the fight between him and the Asuras, and also Indra sometimes, he committed an offense against his own spiritual master, Brahaspati. So Indra was actually suffering, and he somehow had this challenge from Vritrasura. Now Vritrasura was a very powerful demon, and Indra was thrown away because of Vritrasura. Now all the great sages and Dhamma also recommended that if you have to do this, if you have to kill Vritrasura, then you have to do penance. So Indra, he came to this place, Naimisharanya, and he did tapasya for 2000 years. For 2000 years, he was doing tapasya in Naimisharanya. And why? This tapasya was there to please Vishnu. And after doing this tapasya, Vishnu came before Indra and he gave him the solution to fight with Vritrasura. Now, he suggested that you have to go to Dadichi and beg him for his bones because Dadichi had chanted, there's something called as Narayana Kavacha. So very, very powerful mantra. Just like Narsimha Kavacha, there is Narayana Kavacha. So he had chanted this mantra for many years and his bones had become extremely strong. So Dadiji said, this Indra goes to Dadiji and he begs that, you're a Brahmana, but I have this task given to me and please give me your bones. So Dadichi, being a Brahmana, he was so liberal, he said, okay, no problem. For the welfare of the world, I'll give my bones. I'm ready to sacrifice my life. See, this is how Brahmanas are. Very liberal. They don't care about their, life. They are always concerned about how do I do good for others. And he was ready to give up his life also. So Kshatriyas, they fight with enemies for establishing Dharma, and Brahmanas are also ready to give up their life for establishing Dharma in a different way. And now, Dadichi, he gave his life and he gave his bones, the spine. And with that spine, Indra made his Vajrayudha, the Vajrayudha that he has. And with that, he defeated Vritrasura. Of course, the story of Vritrasura, we are going to discuss in detail when we come to the 6th canto. And this is the only Purana, the Srimad Bhagavata Purana, which describes about the pastimes of Vritrasura. No other Purana describes Vritrasura. Okay? So if all the different Puranas are kept before you, it all Sanskrit, and you want to identify which is Srimad Bhagavatam, this is one way to identify Srimad Bhagavatam, that yes, if you get the story of Vritrasura, then it is Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay? So now, these people, all these great sages, they have all assembled in this wonderful place, beautiful place, Naimisharanya, the forest. And forest is, why it is called Naimisharanya? Because there were also fruits called Naimisha. So the sages there were actually depending on eating these fruits, Naimisha. That's one reason. And Nimisha also means the blink of an eye. The blink of an eye is also called Nimisha. Many people, it's one of the time unit of time, Nimisha. So Nimisha, the sages burnt all the demons in Naimisharanya in just a Nimisha, just a blink of an eye. So that's another reason why it is called Naimisharanya. So now there was a plan that I wanted to take all of you to Naimisharanya along with the places there close Ayodhya, Prayagraj. Somehow this time it couldn't be planned. Maybe next time we will plan and go to visit this Naimisharanya and also visit this place called Chakratirtha. Chakratirtha is where that wheel decided, and there is a tirtha, there is a holy water in that tirtha. It is said that the water comes from the ground, and it is an anomaly. Why? Because it's a river, but that river doesn't flow in a straight direction, but this is a river that flows in a circular direction. So that's why it's called Chakratirtha, a very special place. So we should try to visit it. Now, just imagine all these great sages have come to this place, Naimisharanya, to perform tapasya for the welfare of the people whom they have not seen. We, in our present state, we don't even know what's happening in the neighbor's house. Somebody in our own community will be suffering and we are not even aware. And here are these people who are thinking about the welfare of the people whom they don't even know. So that is the extended compassion that these sages had. So powerful, huh? Now, and where they have gone to live in the forest. So if you look into the Puranas will either talk about the palaces or the forest. Huh? Now, you look into the palaces are full of comforts. Lot of comforts are there and luxuries are there. And everything is so convenient. You don't have to struggle for your basic food and other things, right? So palaces are full of luxury. It's full of opulence. Everything is very convenient and luxurious in palaces. But on the contrast, you look into the forest is full of insecurities. Palaces are full of security because guards are there, soldiers are there, everything is there for you. But the forest, you don't know what and when you will get your next meal, right? So the forest is full of insecurities, uncertainties. There are wild animals, and there are other people who also stay in the forest are the Rakshasas. The sages, the Rakshasas, and the wild animals. These are the people who actually stay in this forest. So the animals, they eat only when they are hungry. The Rakshasas, they eat even when they are not hungry. That's the difference between animals and Rakshasas. Only one of the reasons. And here are the sages who have gone to such a place which is so uncertain and full of insecurities. And they live there with all the discomfort. So many snakes are there, the scorpions are there, many other dangerous animals and wild animals. And still the sages decided to be in the forest. Why? Because they want to perform a yajna for the welfare of the people. Just look at this. Why I'm sharing this? Because each one of us also, somewhere we need to have that compassion, which is in the recent days reducing. There is no compassion in these days. Very difficult for people to be compassionate. People are just hitting somebody, beating somebody, killing somebody, and people watch and they take selfies, but they don't do anything. So much of hatred and envy, and so much. It has come to the extent where the wife is killing the husband these days. So very difficult situation, very tough times have come. So this is how we also should understand. We are so comfortable in our own little homes. We are very comfortable. But in that comfort, let us have the mindset of the sages. We cannot go to the forest, not possible. But at least can we have the same mood as of that of the sages with all the comfort that we have? That is the understanding we should develop. Very important. So the sages of these Naimisharanya, they are actually teaching us a very, very profound principle of happiness. Just look at them. Without all these comforts, they still are very happy and they are also thinking about others' happiness. So they're magnanimous basically. They want to give to the world. They are not simply trying to hoard something for themselves, because What in the forest? What will they carry? They will just have one kamandulu. That's the only asset, and little bit of cloth on wrap around their bodies. Nothing else they really have. They don't have anything for themselves. Still, these people have gone. They want to explore. Why? Because they want to give to the world. Huh? And give to the world without any condition. Unconditional giving they have. Very powerful. Just to bring out this point, you know, there was this man who was a vegetable seller, and this vegetable seller, he would sell one particular vegetable, and that was snake guards. He used to, this long snake guards we get, like bottle guard. There'll be this snake guard. I don't like the snake guards, but this guy was selling the snake guards, and this seller, vegetable seller, he would give one free snake guard to a sage who has read one Veda on a particular day. So every day there used to be some, sage would come, and he had read the Veda for that day, and this person would give one free snake guard to this person, this sages. So this was his daily duty. I mean, he used to do charity of snake guards every day. And when this person, vegetable seller, died, in the next life he became a king, because so much of charity he has done in the previous life. He has become a king. He got a palace, everything so big, everything, all the comforts. But he wanted to know how he actually got this opulence. He called the astrologer and he asked, "How I became a king? Please tell me." So this astrologer was very expert. He went into his back previous life. He saw that, okay, oh, dear king, you were actually a vegetable seller, and this is what you did. You used to give charity to the sages who have read Vedas, and you used to give what charity? A snake guard. Oh, fantastic! So this king, he got an idea. If I could become king by giving snake guards, this time let me give a lot of snake guards to a lot of sages. So he used to bring a lot of snake guards, and he started giving in charity all the snake guards to all the sages who came, and not just one snake guard. He gave many, many snake guards to the sages. And when the king died, next life he became the vegetable seller again. So this vegetable seller was thinking, "Oh, why am I like this?" He called the astrologer. He asked the astrologer, "Can you tell me what was I there in the previous life?" The astrologer looked at his previous lives and he said, "See, you were a vegetable seller. You became a king, and then now again you became a vegetable seller." So this fellow was confused. "Oh, why? If I had become a king by giving snake guards, and now I again did the same thing as a king, why I became a vegetable seller back again?" So this astrologer said, "My dear vegetable seller, you were a king, but as a king, you are not supposed to give snake guards as charity. You could have given gold, you could have given so many precious land and many things like that in charity to the Brahmanas. When you have to give accordingly. But you gave snake guards again. So this is what karma comes back. So why I'm saying is because when we give donation, we have to give donation with full heart. When we try to give, there will be some pinch. Don't have that pinch. People generally give some donation, even put some 10 rupees and only they'll have pinch. Oh, I am giving something. And that comes only in the temples, not everywhere else. Other time when they want to enjoy their senses, they don't think about money. But when they think about giving to the devotees or thinking about the temple, many people think 100 times. Should I give or not? And I give heartful. Why be so miserly? And even if you become so miserly and accumulate a lot of money, what is exactly you are achieving? You'll just accumulate a lot of money. That's it, by being a miser. But if you have money and you are not even able to enjoy it, what's the point? Right? There are people who are so misers, they accumulate, they earn a lot of money, but they are misers. They don't want to give anything. That's why it is said that misers make a best ancestor, but they are not a good people to live with. So we shouldn't be a miser. We should definitely not be a miser. So we should give with full heart. The Lord is also called as Bhuri Dakshina. Dakshina means charity, and Lord Rama is called Bhuri Dakshina. Why? Because he had this mood of the sages. Bhuri Dakshina means unlimited, without any condition. He would not even think, okay, I'm giving so much. No, there are great histories of kings who have given this kind of charity. They would not look back. Just give charity. So much of charity they would give. Huh? So now they're all assembled and they want to now inquire from Sutacharya, Suta Goswami. Hmm? Some people call Sutacharya, Suta Goswami also. Now this Sutacharya, Suta Goswami is no ordinary person. He is the son of Romaharshana. Romaharshana is the son of Vedavyasa himself. Huh? So Romaharshana was a very, very powerful sage, because when Vedavyasa would speak out of Romanjana, this Romaharshana was born. Hmm? And this Romaharshana is very great sage. And he had a son called Suta Goswami, who is also called as Ugrashravas. Ugrashravas means very intense listener. He used to listen anything, everything about Lord, any discussion on the Puranas, Vedas, he would listen very carefully. So his name was Ugrashravas also. Now this Suta is not a surname. Suta technically is also called as a thread. Thread. What does the thread do? Thread, it stitches, it combines, right? It joins things. So that is the nature of a thread. So this Suta, what they do is their duty is to stitch. What do they stitch? They stitch the knowledge of the Vedas, the Purana, because there is one specific story told in this Purana, and that connecting story is told in somewhere else. Somewhere connecting something else is told somewhere else. Lot of things are scattered in our Puranas. So all these things are properly stitched by the Sutas. So Suta Goswami is no ordinary person, and he was also one of the audience in the Bhagavad Sapta that happened between Parikshit Maharaj and Shuka Muni, Shuka Goswami, Shukadev Goswami. So Sutacharya was also there, and this Sutacharya, Suta Goswami, has now come to Naimisharanya. And all these 88,000 great rishis have a very special request. They are actually telling Suta Goswami, they are asking, please help us with the proper understanding of what we are supposed to do, what is the right thing to do. And why they are asking Suta Goswami? Not because he is the son of Romaharshana, not because he is the grandson of Vedavyasa. There is no nepotism that works. Not like today's politics. You want your son only to become the politician, even if he's not unqualified, he's totally unqualified. There is no nepotism. Huh? Why they're asking Suta Goswami? Because he's anagha. Anagha means he is completely free from all vices, free from all unwanted things in his heart. He's very pure, anagha. Huh? And why he's also been asked to speak about, because he's adithani, means he knows and he explains the scriptures very well. He's the person who explains things very well. Now, very important characteristic. It's not just about speaking ability. Each one of us have their own ability to speak. Each one of them have their own understanding, the way to speak, right? All that is there, this style of speaking. Now, it's not about that. It's about when you become a speaker, especially of the Srimad Bhagavatam or any other scriptures, it is with a mood and understanding that I am speaking because of my purification. I want to purify myself. It's not to impress upon people. So all these studies that we are doing, you should also speak about Bhagavatam, whatever you are speaking, you have heard here. Just like I now am making an attempt to speak on Srimad Bhagavatam, it's for my purification, my own understanding, trying to deepen my own understanding, because there is no end to it. At the same time, when you are also listening to it and you start speaking, you should also know that, okay, this is for my purification. I want to progress in my life. So this should be our mood. So Suta Goswami was having that mood, and we need to develop this. This is an application part. We need to have this mood of humility. So he is a very good expert in explaining scriptures very beautifully, and he's sharing his knowledge. And by sharing knowledge, we also increase our knowledge base. This is one more reason why we should also speak about scripture. We should not simply sit quiet. Okay, if you are not able to speak yourself, and if you still invite devotees to your home and you are organizing some program, great. Even that is a fantastic thing, because you are giving a chance for somebody else to speak at the same time you're organizing this, and people are coming and listening. That is also a great thing. That benefit also is there for you. So, sharing knowledge, either directly or indirectly, will increase your knowledge base. That is the most important thing. And here, Sutta Goswami is also called as the eldest in knowledge. Now, eldest not in terms of age, but eldest in terms of experience, eldest in terms of realization, spiritual realizations. That's why he's called eldest. Now, there are people who become Vayo Vriddha. Vriddha means eldest, So you become old. Vriddha means to become old. Now, there are people who become old. Each one of us, even if we don't ask for it, we'll all become old. It's called Vayo Vriddha. Some people are Jnana Vriddha. Oh, they are very old with knowledge. Old with knowledge means not that they have old knowledge, but they are very, they have deep knowledge about life. That is what it means. Jnana Vriddha. And some people are Shila Vriddha. Shila Vriddha means those who are eldest in terms of character. Their character is very amazing, high class character. So that is called Sheila Vriddha. Okay, so the sages are saying that you are Anaga, you are Aditani, you are also the eldest among, you are Vriddha among Jnana Vriddha also. You are also Snigdha. Snigdha means you are also a very submissive student because he has learned all these things from his guru. Romaharshana, and also you just see he's great sage, but still goes and sits in the Bhagavatam class, Bhagavat Sapta, and listens. He's a very submissive person. So, when it comes to acquiring spiritual knowledge, this is one more thing that we need to develop, and that is we need to be submissive. Without submissiveness, we cannot become a proper student of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And why we need to be submissive to the Guru? Because when we do proper seva to the Guru, tad vidi pranipate na परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्षन्ति ते ज्ञानम ज्ञानिनस तत्वदर्शिनः. Bhagavad Gita says, right? So what we are supposed to do? Tad vidi pranipatena. Pranipatena means you need to be very submissive. Submissive service has to be rendered. Pariprashnena. You do pariprashna, then sevaya. See, when you do all these things properly, then the Tattvadarshi will give you the right knowledge. Sometimes you don't even have to listen to the lectures that the Guru is telling. Just submissively do your seva. In the olden days, that is how it was. The students used to just do all menial services in the ashram. Guru, when he is pleased with the student, he will just shower his blessings and all the knowledge will be there, downloaded onto your consciousness. No need of reading also. Everything is downloaded to you. So that's why this Sutta Goswami is Snigdha, very, very submissive. Now, you look at this whole, situation in Naimisharanya, where Sutta Goswami is there, and these sages are asking very intense questions. Now, they are all, the mood is very grave in Naimisharanya because they are really looking forward for something very great to achieve in their life, and that is the welfare of the people. So, Sutta Goswami, in this particular forum, you can call it as a workshop. Technically, in Sanskrit, this is called as Satra. So this is called Satra. Satra means workshop or a session that is organized. So here, this Sutta Goswami, he is very pleased by the inquiry of these great sages. And the questions they're asking is a very high-class question. They're all questions related to Krishna. And understanding about Narayana, understanding about Krishna is what really makes us happy. See, we may have a lot of different ways to be happy. There are different techniques to be happy. And happiness is a choice. Happiness is something that we need to develop from our own choice. We first need to make a choice that I want to be happy. Because when we don't have this choice, then automatically we'll all be disturbed. So we need to be very careful. We need to make this choice that I want to be happy. How do I become happy? There are ways. There are different ways. It begins with ourselves. But if you really want the ultimate happiness, then we have to surrender to Krishna and ask about Krishna, inquire about Krishna. We have to become Atato Brahma Jignasa, right? We have to become inquisitive about understanding about Krishna. And these are the exact questions. Now, these are the questions asked by the sages of Naimisharanya. Not ordinary questions. They're not asking some, useless questions, because uh, the ability to give answers is easier than asking questions. To ask question is more difficult than to answer. To ask the right question, the appropriate question, is so important, because only when you ask appropriate deep questions, that is when you get deeper answers, right? So they were not asking superficial questions, they were asking very deep questions. And these deep questions will bring out a lot of answers. And this is the beauty of all our Puranas and Itihasas, that everything is in the form of question and answers. It is all in the form of stories. See, from morning till night, we all have questions. The morning, the time we wake up, the first thing is, okay, now what's the time? We begin like that, right? It begins with a question. Oh, what's the time? Am I late? Okay, no. Then, okay, what's there for the breakfast? How do I go to the office? By car or by this thing? What happened today in the news? What's the latest news? Everything is all related to question and answers. What dress should I wear? Huh? What breakfast should I have? What watch? What gadget? Everything is about questions and answers. Our day begins with question answers. Our day ends with question answers. But what is our question answer related to? That is the important thing. Once this Krishna Devaraya was a great king. We have this southern South India. There was this big kingdom, right? Krishna Devaraya, and he had Tenali Rama in his court as a minister. And Krishna Devaraya, once he had a question in his mind, that I have so many statistics about the people living in my kingdom, but I also want to know the statistics of the number of crows that are there in my kingdom. Some question came to his mind. He wanted to know the count of the number of crows which are there in his kingdom. Now he started asking all the ministers, and everybody was stunned. "Hey, what is he asking? How can we even get the count of the crows?" And everybody was backing off, and then everybody backing off. Then he became very upset and angry. Then he looked at Tenali Rama. "You are the most intelligent fellow. Now you please find out this. If you don't find out the number of crows in my kingdom in the next 2 days, I will kill you. I'll finish you." Krishna Devaraya was like that. So Krishna Devaraya, when he said this to Tenali Rama, he gave this task of finding out the count of number of crows in his kingdom. Now Tenali Rama said, "Okay, all right, I will find it out." And then what he does is he goes out. And next 2 days, Tenali Rama is not to be found. He doesn't even come to the court. And people in the kingdom, they see Tenali Rama doing some funny things. He's climbing up the tree, some weird thing. He takes up the binoculars and looking at here, there, left, right, everywhere. Many other things he's doing, some weird things he's doing. After 2 days, Tenali Rama comes to the court and tells Krishna Devaraya that in our kingdom there are 1,50,511 crores. What? Krishna Devaraya is like amazed. How come you are so confident about this? He said, "This is how it is. How do you verify?" Tenali Rama says, "You can verify. You see, there are so many ministers. Let them go and find out." There is no way to find out. 1,50,511 crores. Then Krishna Devaraya says, "What if the number of crows are less and it is not the count that you said?" Then Tenali Rama said, "If the number of crows are less, it only means that some of the crows from our kingdom have gone to the neighboring kingdom to visit their relatives. And if the number of crows are more, then it only means that some of the crows from the other kingdom, neighboring kingdom, have come to our kingdom to meet their relatives." Krishna Devaraya understood this fellow is too intelligent, too smart. Can't beat this fellow. I'm just telling you that how sometimes we ask questions and our questions are really not deep enough. So we need to have this ability to ask deep questions, because only when we ask proper questions, we will be able to dive deeper. So this forum that we have is also to ignite your intelligence so that you ask some intelligent questions. Huh? And when we have these kind of questions, then it becomes more relishable, right? So now just imagine, it's not just about we talking about Srimad Bhagavatam, right questions. Even people today in the modern trend, if you are willing to use or already using AI, chat gpt, everybody is using chat gpt. It is said that if you have to use chat gpt effectively, then you need to give the correct prompt, the most appropriate prompt is what, the right question, with more details, with more specificity. When you have these kind of questions with more specificity, and you give these questions to chat gpt, that is when you get the more specific answers to your questions. So there is an upcoming thing that is happening now, is about the prompt engineering, because AI is developing so much, but now people are also talking about a new sector of education, and that is prompt engineering. How to develop or write prompts. Just see, you're getting the point. Asking the right question is so important. You may have chat gpt with you, but then if you don't know what is how to ask questions, you will be using it as just like a Google, right? So there is no point, even if you have a powerful tool. So we all have powerful tool like Srimad Bhagavatam. Now it's a matter of asking the right question. Okay, and I'm not the perfect person, but still I can, to my ability, I can give the answers. So we can always keep progressing, each one of us, right? So asking the question, I'm just stressing this point. So what is the application for us is, along with developing the mood and the mindset of the sages, we should also have this ability of being humble, being snigdha, uh, becoming jnanavriddha over a period of time, and asking the right questions. That is what is most important. Only one, and who can ask the right questions, by the way? Only one who has heard, listen to Srimad Bhagavatam properly, scriptures properly. When you nicely hear, then only you can ask good questions. If you don't hear properly, then you will not meditate. If you don't meditate, then no good questions will come. So we can ask proper questions only when we hear properly. Very important. So in this forum, Naimisharanya, there were no material or worldly questions asked. They were not asking about, okay, what is the tariff war that is going on? Trump is imposing so much of tariff. What is the Ukraine Russia war that is happening? What is happening in Vietnam, Brazil? What is happening in France? What is happening with Iran and Israel? Nothing of this sort. They were not even thinking about all this. They were asking questions beyond. Huh? Very beautiful questions. So they asked the question, what is the ultimate good for all? Just see, they are asking a question to Shukre Goswami, saying that what is the ultimate good for all, everybody. Now, very powerful question. All of us, we only think about asking what is good for me. Huh? Our favorite FM channel is what? WIFF. WIIFM. What's in it for me? This is our favorite FM channel. Always we are thinking about what can I get? What is good for me in this? Right? So this is our mood all the time. So these questions of these sages are not ordinary. They are asking, please explain to us what is said to be the absolute ultimate good for people in general. This is the ninth verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. They are saying that what is the ultimate good? Very powerful. And they are also saying that I understand that this situation right now, Kali Yuga, which is already begun, is not ordinary. This people in Kali Yuga, very beautiful, the 10th verse says, Praenal Payusha Sabhya Kalau Asmin Yuge Janaha Mandasu Mandamatayo Mandabhagya Hi Upadrataha. So Prayena Alpa Ayusha. These people in Kali Yuga, they have Alpa Ayusha, very, very less lifespan. Very short-lived people are. 100 years. That also is reducing today. People, if they live for 80 years, that is big now. Very big. Because people are dying much earlier. Now, these days, so people are dying with heart attacks even at the age of 20, 25. Young people are just dying. So many people are dying out of heart attacks today. And they are also kalavasmin yuge janaha manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya upadrutaha. They are kalav. Kalav means always quarrelsome. They're always fighting. You see, we are almost on the verge of a third world war now. Looks like in the next few years, if the situation don't subside, but it's upcoming. It's already predicted. The world order is changing. The many things are happening. Everybody is trying for power gain. So uh, constant quarrel is happening. Forget about the quarrel between the nations, but the quarrel within the family has begun now. The number of divorce rates that has increased itself is a big alarm for all of us. Because if a family unit is not able to stay together, then what's the possibility of nations staying together? Right? There is no question. So there is a very mandaha. Mandaha means very lazy. These people today, they don't want to work. They just don't want to work at all. With all the technology that is coming up, with AI that has come up, with the Swiggy Zomato that has come, so many apps that have come up, what is happening is people have become physically lazy and mentally lazy also, because everything they are, at least before this Google and ChatGPT and everything, they were at least using their brains to create something on their own. But now with all these AI tools, their mental ability to think is also reducing. Mental laziness is very dangerous. If you become, just like if you don't exercise, your body will cramp, it will have some problems. So exercise is good because your movement is important, because only when you are doing proper exercise and there is bodily movement, you remain fit and fine. Similarly, if you don't exercise your mental muscles, if you don't exercise your thinking ability, then you will become dull, and you'll stagnate, you'll not become a learner. So no matter what, you still come to these sessions and listen. Why? Because you are at least exercising your intelligence. You understand, you don't understand is secondary, but at least you are making an attempt to exercise. So this Saturday, once in a week, is a good exercise. Huh? So lazy, mandaha, not just lazy, mandaha, but they're sumandaha, sumanda matayo. Okay, even if somebody in this Kali Yuga is not lazy, he wants to understand spirituality, he wants to understand what is the right thing. He's Sumanda Matayo. Why Sumanda Matayo? He will be misguided. He is interested, but when he wants to go and understand what is right, there are so many people in the market who will misguide him. So that's why these people in Kali Yuga are called Sumanda Matayo. Even good people are misguided, unfortunately, in Kali Yuga. So this is very wrong, right? And Mandabhagya, very unlucky people. Uh, why unlucky? Because they are not even getting proper food to eat. Genetically modified food we are getting. We are eating all poisons in the name of junk food, in packaged food. So unlucky. Why we are unlucky? Because we don't even get proper desi ghee today, or desi milk also for that matter. So difficult to get good quality milk, good quality food. So we are unlucky in that sense. People in just 50, 60 years old also, they were so happy. 5, 6 decades ago, at least they were getting good food, quality food. Everything was so natural. But today, you see, people don't get. The kind of lifestyle that we are leading is very difficult. So we are unlucky. Unlucky also in the sense that we don't have proper relationships these days. We may have money, but we don't have proper relationships. So that's why it is called Mandabhagya. And Upadrita means disturbed. We are so disturbed, constantly disturbed, no focus at all. Disturbed with diseases, disturbed with fights, disturbed with quarrels, disturbed with social media, disturbed with so many things. So that's why when this question was asked, Suta Goswami answers, Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam udirayet. This was the answer to this question. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam. If you really want to develop or understand what is ultimate good, we need to understand that Narayanam Namaskritam. We have to surrender to Narayana. Ahetuki aprityahada. We have to follow this. Completely surrender to God. And then followed by this, we will discuss in the next session also. Sutta Goswami continues to answer this and says, Vasudeva Paragati. Vasudeva Paragati means he is the ultimate. If you surrender to Vasudeva, ultimate good will happen to you and others also. He's so beautiful. Vasudeva is not an ordinary person, he's very beautiful. To describe his beauty, many great sages have failed. So it's not so easy to describe the beauty. There is one sage called Kambarishi in the South India. He's a poet. He wanted to describe the beauty of the Lord. And he went on to describe the beauty. He said that, okay, beauty of the Lord is like kajal, you know, uh, which we apply to the eyes. Then he said, no, kajal is very sticky. That cannot be God. That cannot be the beauty of the Lord. Then he says, okay, the beauty of the Lord is like the Markatamani. Markatamani is very powerful, shining gem. He says, no, but this color of the Markatamani is too strong for the eyes. Yeah, this is not good. Then he said, okay, the color of the Lord is like ocean color, oceanic. Huh? He said the ocean is there, but it is all salt water. No, that cannot be proper description of the Lord's beauty. Then he said, oh, it's like a rain cloud. Oh, rain cloud. But this rain cloud is so dark and gray. That is also not the right way of describing the beauty of the Lord. So, he started describing, but then he was not able to describe. There was this lady who had kept a lot of sweets on the top, hanging, so that the children don't take it. So this one child, he looks at the sweets there. Oh, beautiful, lot of sweets are there. And he tries to keep one stool, not able to reach. He keeps another stool, still not able to reach. He keeps another stool on top, still not able to reach. So then he keeps some small boxes. Then finally he tries to go and tries to take the sweet, but then he falls down. He doesn't get the sweet. So similarly, then when he falls down from the top, this child says, "Ayyo." This Kamba Muni also, he also says this, "Ayyo." Means in South India, I cannot do this. I cannot describe the beauty of the Lord. This is impossible. He's so beautiful. So this is the situation. And when the poet fails, he actually is raising himself. Because that failure is not real failure. When you fail to describe Krishna, in one sense, you are actually raising your consciousness. So Krishna, he performs all these leelas to attract us. So when these devotees, Naimisharanya, sages are asking, what is ultimate good for life, good for all of us? So Sutta Goswami is saying, you should know Narayana, you should know his beauty, you should know his leela. And these leelas, Krishna is performing. Why he comes here, takes incarnation? Because he wants to attract all of us. This is the idea. This is the understanding. So please, all of you, please understand this very clearly, that Krishna comes not for his own sake here, but he comes for performing leelas and attract our hearts. Then they also goes on to ask, okay, please describe all the incarnations of the Lord. This is another question that they ask. 6 questions they have asked, but I'm just mentioning few of them. We'll take all these later also. What are the different incarnations? Now, not just the Maha-avtaras, the 10 Maha-avtaras, Dasha-avtaras, but there are many other incarnations of the Lord which are described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Very beautiful. To know the background of all these incarnations. So this is another question. So now they also ask, what is the hope now? Because Krishna is not there in Kali Yuga. So what is the hope in Kali Yuga? How can we connect with Krishna in Kali Yuga? So then Sutta Goswami says that Srimad Bhagavatam is not different from Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna in Kali Yuga. So what we are understanding now, we are understanding Krishna in Kali Yuga. So many people, and Srimad Bhagavatam, please understand, you will not find anything in chronology here. So the students of history, if they come and open up the Srimad Bhagavatam and want to understand, they'll get confused, because this is not a linear study. The Srimad Bhagavatam is not like chronological study that you study one after another. The Bhagavatam study is cyclical in nature, is cyclical in nature, because it's about past life and this life and that life and this life. A lot of interconnections are there. So the Bhagavatam study cannot be linear. It is not linear. You need to understand with a lot of patience and with proper understanding. That's why Shravanam is what we need to understand. So, and all these begins with also question, because you are uh, related to Vedi Vyasa. So please help us understand everything so clearly. So now, in the previously also I had mentioned that how Vedi Vyasa and his biography, in the sense his life, how Vedi Vyasa was born. Vedi Vyasa was born to, anybody knows who is the father of Vedi Vyasa? The parents of Vedi Vyasa? Anybody knows?
Prabhuji, it was Satyavati, no?
Satyavati is the mother, right?
Uh, Father was that one saint who saw her. I
Right.
forgot the name, Prabhuji. Who comes to, because she was that fish smell out used to come out of her, and she
Yes.
used to take people across the river. And then
Correct.
later on, she married the king,
Yes.
who was the Pandavas and
Yes.
Kauravas. She was the grandmother of the Pandavas and the Kauravas.
Exactly. So
So,
Parashar Muni. So she was Matsyagandha. Why
Parashamuni.
she was called
Yeah, yeah,
Matsyagandha? Because
yeah.
she had that fragrance of the
Yes.
fish, and fish is of course very stinking bad. But she was having different fragrance because she was not an ordinary personality. She was the Pitrakanya, the daughter of the Pitra Devatas in the previous life. So she was cursed actually to become like that. So this Satyavati was Matsyagandha, who was born from the fish. And she was the daughter of this fisherman. And there Parashara Muni comes. Parashara Muni is the son of Shakti, who is a great sage, and a grand son of Vashishta Muni. Now, Vashishta Muni, uh, he lost his son because of some problem. Huh? There was a fight, and Shakti was killed, and he became very upset. And the daughter-in-law was all alone, and Vasishtha Muni was thinking, "Oh, what should I do now? Because without my son, I'm not going to stay here." So he started actually walking towards the Himalayas to do tapasya. Along then, the daughter-in-law said, "Now anyway, what should I also do? I let me also come join with you." And then she also joined, and they started walking. And Vasishtha Muni, while he was walking towards the Himalayas, and he was reciting the mantras and all of that, he also started hearing Vedic mantras in a very feeble sound. And while walking, he used to look back and see, who is this person who is chanting the Vedic mantras? And he saw only the daughter-in-law. And he walked a little further, again he heard. Then he looked back and saw that this daughter-in-law is the one who is reciting. But then he goes to, she's also not reciting. Then the Vedic mantra which was coming from her was coming from a room. Then he was so happy. Oh, my son has gone, but before he left, he has actually impregnated his wife, and now I have a grandson. So Vashishta became very, very happy. Then he said, Himalaya tour is cancelled. Let's go back. So they cancelled the tour. They went back. And then in the meantime, the grandson was born. The Parashara was born. Why Parashara? Mm, Shara means pain. Parashara means one who takes away the pain. So Parashara means one who gave Vashishta a lot of happiness. That's why he's called, who took away all his misery. Yeah? So that's why his name is Parashara. And he was trained in the Vedic mantras and all of that. And he also did a lot of tapasya. And when he did tapasya, he did tapasya with the intention that I should get the Lord as my son. Parashara did this tapasya. And Satyavati also had done the tapasya that I should get the Lord as a son. Both had done tapasya. So the Lord said, why to take separate incarnation for Parashara and Satyavati separately? Let's combine these together. And that's why Parashara was sent to this place near Yamuna. And there she was as a form in the form of a fisher woman who helps people to cross the river. And Parashara also instantly, when he saw her, he said, "Okay, why don't you help me cross the river?" And in the board itself, he could realize it's not out of lust, but it was a clear indication. Parashara, he was such a learned personality just by looking at Satyavati. And he calls her Satyavati. And Satyavati is like, what? My name is Matsyagandha. How do you know that my name is Satyavati? Then he explains. Even she was not even aware that her name is Satyavati. And he explains everything. So she understood that this is the right person. And they simply did not beget a child. They go there in the island of Yamuna, and the Brahma, and this is explained by Madhvacharya. So this is the Madhvacharya's explanation, Tatpara Nirnaya of Mahabharata. It explains that Parashara and Satyavati, they got married in the presence of Brahma and other devatas, and Vedivyasa was born not after 9 months, just immediately Vedivyasa, through the heart, from the heart of Parashara, he went, entered the womb of Satyavati, and then immediately he came out as if he was a son of 7 years. So directly, with Upanayana, everything done, he came directly with Vyasa. So that is the power. And Vedvyasa, in fact, he blessed Matsyagandha that although you have become my mother, you will still remain a virgin and you can marry another person later on. Because this was just a play, this was just a leela for Vedvyasa to come into this world. Because we both had prayed that Lord should be our son. And then he also said, anytime you call me, I'll come before you to help you. Anytime in pain, anytime you have my need, I will come. You just call, take my name 3 times and I'll be there before you. This was a boon that was given to Satyavati. So Vedvyasa was born like this. Very powerful sage. And such a sage who has uh, done so much of tapasya. And then he starts writing this Veda. Hmm? And he started writing all the Veda. Why he wrote? Because he was meditating once on the bank of Ganga, and he saw that people in Kali Yuga is the same problem. Manda, Sumanda, Mandabhagya. These people will not understand Veda. So I need to divide this Veda. So that is why he divided Veda into four. Hmm? That's why it's called Ved Vyasa. Ved Vyasa, why? Because his Ved Vyasa, uh, he divides. Vyasa means to divide. He split the Veda, one Veda into four. So that's why it's called Ved Vyasa. Hmm? So then he thought that, okay, this is a very difficult situation. So I need to do something for the people of Kali Yuga. Then he wrote the Puranas, then he wrote the Mahabharata, Itihasa, right? He wrote all of these things. Now, what happened was, in Kali Yuga, some of these sages, they had some questions in mind. And they thought, okay, Vedivyasa will help us actually to get this answer. So they all went to Vedivyasa. So when they went to Vedivyasa, Vedivyasa was taking a dip in Ganga. And all these sages are there on the bank of Ganga. Vedivyasa, even before the sages spoke to him and asked the questions, he understood what questions they have. So Vedvyasa took a dip. He took a dip and then he came out and he said, Kali Sadhu. He took another dip and then he came out and he said, Yoshita Sadhu. Then he took another dip, came out and he said, Shudra Sadhu. And when all the sages there, they heard, they got the answers. So beautiful, huh? Without even asking the question, they got the answers. This is Vedivyasa. What did he say? Kali Sadhu, Yoshita Sadhu, Shudra Sadhu. Now, Vedivyasa is saying that Kali Yuga is the best among all the yugas. Kali Yuga is the best. Among the genders, Yoshita Sadhu means female form is the best. In Kali Yuga, the female form is the best. And then he's saying that Shudra is Sadhu. Shudra is also very important. And he is Sadhu in Kali Yuga. Hey, this is very confusing, right? How is it possible? Because in terms of Yuga, Satya Yuga is the best. In terms of performing spiritual activities, the Purusha, the male body is very good. Brahmana, he is most elevated in terms of knowledge compared to Shudra, right? Brahmana is supposed to be the best. Now, why Vedvyasa is telling like this? Because there are two aspects. One is the sadhya, one is the sadhana. From the perspective of sadhya, sadhya means the object of sadhana, and sadhana is the process of purification. Okay, so when it comes to sadhya, means the object, attaining the object. Kali Yuga is the best because just by chanting the holy names, you don't have to do big sadhana. Just namasmarana is enough. And Kali Yuga, you can get the benefit. You can become purified in Kali Yuga. See the beauty, huh? So wonderful it is. Kali Yuga. And then Yoshita Sadhu, because females, all the Matajis, women, are soft hearted. In terms of acquiring the sadhya, the object of sadhana is easily gotten by them compared to the purusha, because they were like too much into yaga, havana, yagna, so much complication, logic, and so many things. But women very simple hearted. Just look at Kunti Devi, simple hearted. We'll understand her prayers in the Bhagavatam in the future. Draupadi, simple hearted. She won the heart of Krishna. All of these gopis, they all simple by their simple attitude. They won the heart of Krishna. The Brahmana Patnis, the story that we heard, the Brahmanas were performing all the big yagnas and everything. Krishna was hungry. He sent his friends, go get some food. All the Brahmanas said, no, 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 you cannot take. But when the wives of the Brahmanas heard that Krishna is asking for food, they immediately gave. And see how they became elevated. So women are very simple. So they get the object, that is ultimate is what? Krishna. Why we are studying Bhagavatam, doing all the devotional service? To get Krishna. So getting Krishna is very simple for them. Then Shudra Sadhu, they may not be learned, but if they are devoted nicely in devotional service, doing perfect things, even Shudra can be elevated. So for sadhana, Satyuga is very good. The Purusha body is very good. The Brahmana, learned person, is very good from the sadhana aspect. But in terms of sadhya, the object of sadhana, Kali Yuga and the female body and Shudra is very good. Just see. And in spite of having all these conveniences, I mean, the easy process, we are not able to chant 16 rounds. This is our precarious condition in Kali Yuga. Prabhupada is saying, don't do anything, just chant 16 rounds properly. Enough. That also we are not doing. This is our condition, unfortunate condition. Why? Because we have a popcorn brains. For every little thing, it will just pop up like popcorn. So he understood that we cannot understand the Veda. So Ved Vyasa, he took the Vedas and he got them written actually. And people, those time when they saw Ved Vyasa writing the Vedas, they were like, what is this? Why is he writing? Because those time people were all Shrutithara. Shrutithara means they used to get knowledge just by listening. No concept of writing. You listen and it's all there. Shrutithara. But just by listening, you have this knowledge. But Vedvyasa, he could foresee, he wrote 17 Puranas, he wrote Mahabharata. He was still dissatisfied. That is when he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. So sometimes dissatisfaction also encourages us to do something very good. So we should not be satisfied with our sadhana. So only when you do this kind of self-evaluation, you will progress. And Ved Vyasa himself, after writing 17 Puranas, Mahabharata, he was self-evaluating as an author that have I done everything in my life. He was evaluating himself. And he found, oh no, there is something missing, and he wrote to Srimad Bhagavatam. And when he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, he became happy. He got Ananda. Ananda means what? One who experiences happiness. That person is called Ananda. One more name of the Lord is also Ananda. Ananda is the name of the Lord. So one who experiences happiness is called Ananda. And one who gives happiness is called Nandana. Nandana means one who gives happiness. So Krishna is Ananda and is Nandana. Both. So I just want to give you understanding of how Lord is magnanimous and He's so happy. He's the source of all happiness. Listen to this very carefully. This is just for understanding. Okay, we are human beings, and as human beings, when do we experience ananda, happiness? When we are having good wealth, we are capable of doing a lot of things, we are healthy, we are blessed by the elders, and we are world famous. So good character, we have capability, financial capability, we have no diseases, we are blessed by the elders, we are world famous. All put together makes us happy. And imagine now, all this put together makes one unit of human happiness. What is this? One unit of human happiness. Good character, capability, financial capability, good health, blessings, world famous. One unit of human happiness. You multiply this human happiness in by 100. This multiplication by 100 is equivalent to one unit of one Manushya Gandharva happiness. Manushya Gandharva is another species, okay? Gandharvas. So 100 into human happiness, 100 units of human happiness is one unit of Manushya Gandharva happiness. You multiply that by 100, Manushya Gandharva happiness. 100 units of Manushya Gandharva makes one unit of Deva Gandharva happiness. 100 units of Deva Gandharva happiness makes one unit of Pitra Devata happiness. One unit of Pitra Devata happiness. 100 units of Pitra Devata happiness makes one unit of Devata happiness. 100 units of Devata happiness makes one unit of Devaraja, Indra. He's Devata, king of all the kings, right? One unit of Devaraj happiness. But the king of Devatas has more happiness than the Devatas. 100 units of Devaraja, Indra's happiness, is one unit of Brihaspati's happiness. Brihaspati is the teacher of the Indra. So even more happiness. 100 units of Brihaspati happiness is one unit of Brahma's happiness. 100 units of Brahma's happiness is one unit of Narayana's happiness. You can imagine how happy Narayana is compared to human beings. This is just for understanding. Okay. So life is incomplete without Narayana. That's why Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam. Why we are dissatisfied? Anytime you ask yourself, if you are unhappy, if you are not happy anytime in your life, ask yourself why you are dissatisfied. And the answer is that somehow you are not connected to Narayana. You are disconnected from Narayana. The reason for your dissatisfaction is disconnection from Narayana. Okay? This is the understanding. So, what is that you have understood today? Let us stop here today. We have actually extended. Maybe this is what will happen in every session. We will extend by 8 to 10 minutes, maybe. In the next session, we will understand how Sutta Goswami answers to these questions of the sages. Okay, but these are very intelligent questions. So, what is that you want to apply in your life? Anything that you want to share from today's life? What is that one thing that you want to apply in your life? Let's open up. Okay, all of you, those who are listening on YouTube, what is that one thing that you want to take away from this session? What is that you want to apply in your life? Dev, Vinodji, Hinamataji, anything that you want to share? What do you think that you want to start from today?
One lesson, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Stick to Krishna.
Yeah, you should always stick to Krishna. Try to understand Krishna. Everything will come. Fantastic. Any other point? Anything else that you want to share?
Prabhuji, hearing is so important. Continuous hearing of Krishna and his stories, pastimes, and Srimad Bhagavatam especially. So continuing that in a fashion, and also self-evaluation that you mentioned.
Right. See, this is so important aspect. Prabhupada also says that we should listen more and more about Krishna. And the stories of Krishna attracts us and purifies us. It is so beautiful. And these stories of Krishna have transformed so many lives, millions of people. Just to give an example, our own president of uh, Bangalore Temple, Madhu Pandit Prabhu, he had studied so much of these philosophy and so much of physics. He was very interested in physics. He was studying in IIT at that time, and after studying also he was so dissatisfied. And I told you, I think once, he was thinking, not thinking, he thought there is nothing, no point in living this life. Let me commit suicide. Because anyway, it's all what? Energy only. If I die also, it's just energy. It will get transformed to some other form. That's it. I'm not making any sense into this world. Let me commit suicide. He wanted to jump off the IIT building. So he thought, okay, anyway, let me die now and commit suicide. But let me go to the library, because I used to go to the library and read a lot of books. Let me go and read something and then let me commit suicide. So Madhu Pandit Prabhu, he goes to the library of IIT. He's looking into books, and he looks into one book, and then this book he had seen previously also, but he had never actually read it. So he picked up this book and he sees on the cover page this blue boy with Radha and Krishna picture was there. If you look at the old Krishna book, this is the Krishna book. And he opens this and he sees, okay, the content is all about the stories. Anyway, let me read some stories and let me commit suicide. And there Prabhupada is saying Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So he was like, what? I have read so much philosophy. How can this Lord be personality? How can God be a person? So that stuck him. And he didn't stop. He just went on reading the whole night. And he had tears in his eyes. He said, nothing doing. Plan changed. He cancelled his plan of suicide, and then he got connected with the nearby temple. He started visiting the temple. And that's how today we see, he has done so much, contributed so much for Prabhupada's movement. So the stories of Krishna is so important. It purifies our heart. It nourishes us basically, and that's why Prabhupada says, before going to bed, read the Krishna book, read the stories of Krishna. You get good dreams also. So night we should listen to Krishna story and listen to the pastime and sleep, and not to anything else. So that is one thing. And self-evaluation. You mentioned a very good point. In every stage of our life, we need to evaluate ourselves just to check, have we become stagnant in our spiritual life? There's a possibility. If we are just happy with whatever we have, there is a possibility that we will become stagnant. So that shouldn't happen. We should never become stagnant. We should keep on progressing. Self evaluate yourself. Look into okay, this is what I was doing something before. Now there's something more I should add to it. That's why this application, why we are talking about application, is because we want to move forward. Take action. Knowledge is not important. It's important, but it is not the ultimate thing, because there is no end to gaining knowledge. What really matters, transformation comes by action. So this is a good thing that you can apply. Evaluate yourself. Each one of you evaluate yourself today itself. See what you're doing. Okay, I'm chanting 2 rounds. Can I chant 4 rounds? I'm chanting 4 rounds. Can I do it 6 rounds or 8 rounds? I was reading 1 page. Can I read 2 pages? Identify, self-evaluate. Okay, in a day, I'm wasting some of my time in something that is non-productive. So identify those times and see yourself and make it more productive. And today is Balram Jayanti. Balram Jayanti, he's a Guru Tattva. You can pray to Balram that please give me the strength to follow the path of Dharma more sincerely. So seek the blessings of Balrama today, being Balram Jayanti. Very happy Balram Jayanti to all of you. So with this blessings of Guru, of Balarama, let us get more closer to Krishna. Like Mataji said, we need to get always be just stick on to Krishna. To stick on to Krishna, we need the blessings of Balarama. Okay, because he's always sticking around Krishna, either in the form of Ananta Shesha or in the form of Balrama. He's always sticking to Krishna, right? So you said you want to stick with Krishna. So let us take the blessings of Balrama, who is always sticking to Krishna. Okay. Any other question? Anybody on YouTube, if you want to ask anything, please feel free to ask. Okay. So, in the next session, this was the inquiry of the sages today that we have discussed briefly. We will also understand in the next session how Sutta Goswami is going to respond. Huh? So, so Achyutanji says very beautifully, he says that give away charity happily and as per one's capacity, right? So this is very important. Anytime when we give charity, charity should be given without any pinch in the heart and to your capacity. Doesn't matter. Just like that fellow vegetable seller, he gave one snake guard because that was his capacity at that time, but he gave it full with happiness, right? But same person, when he became king, his mind changed. He did not really think, oh, I could have given more. That thought did not come to his mind. So we should not limit ourselves. So you should know what is your potential, and based on your potential, you give charity accordingly. And that way, Krishna will bless all of us. So fantastic, very nice. So, why charity we need to give? Because that helps us in detachment, right? We want to stick to Krishna, but now we are sticking to material things. If you want to get rid of the material things, then you have to start giving charity. Because when you start giving charity, that stickiness to material things will reduce and our stickiness to Krishna will increase. So charity helps in doing that. Okay. So very nice. Achutanji, thank you so much for that. Very good. Very good you answered question this. So all of you, please invite others also to join this session. They can also benefit from this. See if one soul comes and listen to it and understands. There can be a transformation that happens, right? So let us bring more and more people, invite them for this sessions, and I'm sure they'll all be very happy. Hmm? Fantastic. So very nice, all of you. Thank you so much for joining. We will see you again next Saturday. We will continue from where we have left. Please take care. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.